I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a minute. You're listening to the Hot AF Show. This is Mike Smith. I appreciate you joining me again. I'm going to get right into it. This is episode 9. Kamala Harris. I'm excited about her being the VP pick for Sleepy Joe Biden. I'm going to call her, like, there's so many names I could call her. Miss, I believe Biden's accusers. That's one of them. Miss Radical Left, African American, or the Wikipedia African American and Asian American senator from California. Come to find out, her dad's from Jamaica and her mother is from India. So where does Africa come into play there? Maybe because it's cool, it's popular to, it's progressive to be on a ticket for the vice president of the United States. How sick is that? Fucking choose a candidate based on their skin color when she's not even close to being from Africa. And I'm just going to go on this rant real fast. I wasn't planning on talking about this right now. I was going to actually do it on a different episode. And I might come back to it on a different episode, but I'm sick and tired of black people referring and white people referring to themselves as African Americans. When they live, they were born, their parents were born, so forth and so on, in the United States of America. I don't consider myself a German, Irish, Polish mutt. I'm American. I've got a couple of friends, 2, that are as white as me. And they are both from South Africa. They were born there. They lived there for a while. And then they moved here to the States. They are true African Americans. Their skin color doesn't show it. But where they were born and where their parents were born and all that, that's where they come from. Sure, if you want to be hyphenated African American, I got no problem with that. If you're black, I don't care. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're purple or red or green. If you come from Africa, you were born there. Your parents were born there. Hell, if you were born there, period, and now you live here in the States, in the United States of America, and you want to refer to yourself as African American, fine by me. If you were born in Italy and you want to move over here to the United States of America and refer to yourself as a Italian American, got no problem with that. If you have no freaking clue where your ancestors, meaning close ancestors, your grandparents, if they came from a different country, all right, I might give you that there. But if your parents and you were born in a particular country, that's where you're from. Don't play this hyphenated culture, hyphenated, citizen, which you're not. Be American. Be Italian. Be African. Be Asian. Be Indian. But stop hyphenating this crap. Don't even get me started with this hyphenated, last name when you marry someone. Yuck. Anyway, I wasn't even going to talk about that, but let's be Americans, people. Stop being so politically correct when you're referring to the Black community as African Americans. There's no reason for that. If you're going to refer to whites as whites, Asian as Asian, Europeans as Europeans, why do you refer to them as that, but then all of a sudden you switch to white and black, white and African American? It's never American, Asian, Indian, Spanish, whatever. Like white has their own category, and it's okay to be white people. It's okay to be black. It's okay to be yellow, freaking purple, rainbow. I don't give a shit. But where does patriotism come into all this, where you're proud of being from wherever country you're from? I don't give a shit if you're from fucking Afghanistan. I'm an Afghani. Okay, great, man. Or woman, because there's only two genders. Kamala Harris. Yeah, so her Wikipedia page claims that she is the first African American and Asian American to be chosen as the running mate for a majority party as vice president. But she's not from Africa. She's not from Asia. Pretty sure she was born here, but there's this whole conspiracy that this 25th Amendment is going to be invoked and she's going to take over from Sleepy Joe because he's fucking delusional. Argue that one with me. This guy can't put 4 words together without stumbling over himself. I got a censorship notification today. I was actually referring to what he said to the journalist the other day about calling him what are you, a junkie? When the guy asked him simply, are you willing to take a cognitive test? And then he lit up over that, calling him, well, what are you, a junkie? I made that reference today, responding to Donald Trump Jr., who's censored all the time. And yeah, the Facebook Nazis, they didn't like that. They took it down because it was against their policy for bullying. All I said was what your candidate referred to. And he referred to a black guy on TV. But I'm going to get taken down as being a bully. And I quoted junkie because Biden's son is one. Oh, fuck. It's Whiskey Wednesday, but I'm drinking vodka. It's that kind of day. Here's what Kamala supports. She reports citizenship from illegals. She wants to ban assault weapons. What's an assault weapon? This pen I'm holding, if I stab someone in the freaking throat for no reason, is that an assault weapon? I guess what she's referring to is this beast right here. And for you that aren't watching on YouTube and you're listening, I'm holding a Title II manufactured AR-15 pistol. And I'm just waiting to get the grenade launcher put in right here. And the silencer put on right there. So that's what she's referring to most likely as this is an assault rifle or an assault weapon. Why? Because it has a 30 caliber clip thingy that shoots 20,000 rounds per minute with a sustained rate of fire. If you pull the trigger, it just shoots missiles. This is a magazine, 30 rounds of 5.56 or 0.223 NATO ammunition, and it's wonderful. I'm going to put this back. Anyhow, she wants to ban those. Why? She wants to be protected by them. I guess referring to assault weapons is similar to referring to yourself as an African American or a Asian American when you're clueless on what that really means. That's not an assault weapon or an assault rifle that I just held in my hand. That is a Armalite rifle that is a tool that can be used for self-defense. Yes, it can be used for hunting. It can be used for protection against freaking the government. Second Amendment. Yuck. She's for a progressive tax reform. Essentially, the redistribution of wealth because of all of this income inequality. You know what's really funny is when Barack Obama flies around the country on private jets, which I don't have a problem with. He's the president. He shouldn't fly commercial. But still, flying around the country on private jets, making a speech for 200 whatever plus $1,000 for an hour-long speech that's about income inequality. Yeah, that works. That's a $4 trillion tax idea that this Kamala Harris, wacko radical left junior senator from California has. She's for socialized medicine. Ugh. I know a lot of physicians. Do you know how quickly they will just shut shop if all of a sudden they become a government employee? What's one thing the government does well? I can name like two. They do a pretty good job with the road system. Yeah, there's potholes and it takes, 7 years, which would take a private company 7 months to complete. Whatever, it's the government. But the overall infrastructure with highways and roads, they do a really good job. And then obviously our protection, our military, that does a phenomenal job. Our law enforcement, EMS, and then that's about it. I love teachers, but goddamn, the teachers union, the Democrat radical arm of a union, no. I'm not calling that as a service or as a good government entity. There are some great teachers out there that are government employees, and God bless them. But there's some horse shit, horrible ones too, that overwhelm how many good ones there are. So, sorry, your scale kind of tips towards not a good government entity. She's a co-sponsor of the Green New Deal. So yeah, let's get rid of all the oil and gas out there, and ban plastic straws, make it a federal offense to have a plastic straw. I won't drink a drink out of a paper straw. No, not doing it. There's more plastic that comes from all the ladies out there, or even the men out there that might wear yoga pants. Why don't you look into that to see how much plastic goes into the ocean based on your manufacturer of your yoga pants? It's a hell of a lot more than a plastic straw that I have at, friggin' Chick-fil-A. Man, these idiots. It sounds good, though. I guess it buys votes. But anyway, she's going to be the vice president candidate for someone just a few months back. She called her racist because he is one. I mean, look back on how many just definitive racial comments Sleepy Joe Biden has made. It is unbelievable. I mean, the fucking guy has been in office for damn near 50 years. And all of a sudden, he's going to solve your government problems when he becomes president but can't remember anything. Don't fall for the BS, people. A politician isn't going to solve your problems. You are. So she calls him a racist, and then she is a believer of his accusers for sexual misconduct. Then she gets the chance of being the VP nominee, and all that goes away. Yep, that's politics, people. How about this one? She came out right away on Michael Brown, like the whole Ferguson deal, referring to him, he was murdered. But the police cleared this police officer. I think his last name was Wilson. But she, as a prosecutor, which I thought you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty in our judicial system. And before this is even come to a verdict, she's referring to it as a murder. Right out the gate, I mean, talk about a hypocrite. She compared ICE to the KKK. How about you compare Antifa that you're behind to the KKK? You won't. When she was running for president in this election cycle, I think she pulled 3% of her home state of California. 3%. I could probably get 3% in California, and I am about the most opposite you can get from California. And I could still probably pull better than 3%. Maybe that's going to change with this election cycle. I don't know. This was a great one that I found. So she's this prosecutor, and she put 1,500 people, I think it was greater than even 1,500 people, behind bars for a very long time for possession of marijuana. And then she was asked if she ever smoked it, and she was laughing at that question. She laughed about it. But she put 1,500 people behind bars for a long time. I mean, is that not a politician for you? A complete fucking hypocrite. Whew. She blocked evidence for people on death row. Wow. How do you block evidence? I'm not a lawyer. Said that before. But common sense tells me, why would you block evidence? Then it just goes on. I mean, she accepted donations from Epstein, who didn't kill himself's law firm. Typical politician. The whole thing that Donald Trump had given her campaign money way before he was president, and she gave it back, didn't spend it, and that was a complete fucking lie. She spent every penny of it. Typical politician. And then you got the clown Biden, who talks to her and gives her the pitch of, hey, you want to be my vice president? And they're doing this over a Zoom call. Meanwhile, he's got the script that he's reading from, because he can't put, two sentences together. It's kind of sad. I mean, this guy is freaking delusional. I mean, he's 157 years old. I get it, but damn, that's who the Democrats really want. I mean, there's something fishy going on here. There's 16 states that apparently are able to have early voting prior to any debate. That's wrong. Especially this mail-in ballot. You can protest, but you can't show up and vote in person. I mean, there's so much fraud that goes on with that. It's sickening. There's been so many proven cases of voter fraud. And just gets pushed under the rug. It's politics. So, was she selected based on her gender, her one of two genders, or her race, which is, in my opinion, she's an American with slightly darker color skin. I got a somewhat of a tan going being in Florida, but half Jamaican, half Indian. You put those together and all of a sudden that becomes African, or because it sells African American. I can't wait for what else comes out when they dig in and find all the skeletons and truth. I know one skeleton came out that's kind of, where's the popcorn for this? Her grandfather or great grandfather, somewhere close to her into her her ancestry. His name is Hamilton Brown. And Hamilton Brown, from her father's side, as he's Jamaican, he was the rightful owner of over 200 slaves. But I'm looked at because of my skin color that I'm a racist and slave owner from the past. I have no clue who my ancestors are. I wish I did. Like really going back. That'd be awesome. But I'm not considered a slave owner by a couple of generations? Because I can go back a couple of generations. You go back a couple of generations for Commie-la Harris. And yeah, over 200 slaves were owned by Mr. Hamilton Brown. Now, she was sworn into Congress as an American Indian. And that's the dot, not the feather. Although maybe she's an Elizabeth Warren and she's going to try to get her Native American Indian as, kind of slide that in to the profile. I'd be pissed. I mean, if I was of African descent, legitimate African descent, not just black, because I'm a mutt from Germany and Ireland and Poland and Scotland and freaking, all the lands. But I'm an American. And like, what do they call black people that live in Canada? Are they African Canadians? I don't know, but I'd be pissed if my culture was being used as a puppet to pull votes. Just goes back to, freaking racism. It's never going to end. It's sad. I don't see how it ever changes when you make politics out of it. And you use people based on the color of their skin as puppets to buy votes or have a good, public relations picture because you hired someone based on their skin color or gender. I love the idea of having no question on applications on what your gender is or what your race is or anything like that. It's just the most qualified candidate gets it. Some woman reporter asked Donald Trump during the last election in 2016 about the income inequality of women. And does he believe if a woman is doing the same job as a man, if she should get paid the same? And his comment was, well, if she does the same job and a good enough job, then yeah. And same with him. If he does what's required of him, then he should get paid the fair wage. It shouldn't matter on your gender, your freaking color of your skin, because that's damn racism. How about the most qualified person? Rather than making numbers, hey, this affirmative action and hey, this application to get into college is, oh, we don't have enough women, and we don't have enough, of the Asian population, or we don't have, our ethnicity pie is definitely leaning this way or that. Like, how about no? Just accept whoever is the most qualified. To me, that's common sense, but maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. let me know. Reach me at Hot AF Show on Instagram. That's all I have for this one. I'm gonna start making I got a great popcorn machine, and it's like trial and error. And now I know how to make movie theater popcorn out of my home, and I'm really excited because it's going to be a fun next few months until this election is over, which will be simultaneous, most likely, to the coronavirus, the China plague. So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your parents, tell your loved ones, tell your colleagues about the Hot AF Show. I'm up for a debate. I want to learn things. I want to educate people where I can. I'm more interested in learning. So reach out, and we'll talk to you next time. In the meantime, do I even have to tell you? But I will. Enjoy your freedom, everyone, and God bless America.